Oh, well, howdy. That was such a no. I mean, I'm a good sport about it. This is the internet. I should have been suspicious the moment that I saw it was a female that really looked out of place, right? But anyway, nothing really was accomplished there because it is currently away from people to mass report or whatever the goal is. Usually that's done, well, aside from maybe trolling me, or it's done to silence. What's up, Global? What's up, Shep? What's up, bro? Yeah, was that your first time, Riddle Dread? That is the second time in my YouTube existence that I have been porn bombed. So what I'm doing, so ridiculous. Like, so the curiosity that stems from that is like, so yeah, again, like, I just is the intention to just troll me, or were you trying to silence somebody? I wonder who that would be. Whatever the case, nobody's gonna play dumb here. I think that was the result of having the panel open to Tennessee, saying, what are you saying? And some people, if they are in fact trying to delete stuff, it's their in their interest to have anything talking about it, I guess, gone. I don't know. I mean, I've just made my stance very, very simple. I'm not seeing the screen or the chat right now in real time. My simple, like, devious, controversial take is, I do hope justice prevails. Shit, that's about it. I hope good prevails. What you can say that's as subjective as you like, but I'm not losing that live stream. I'm waiting for it to process, and I'm gonna snip it out to the portion of the porn bomb, and then that live is gonna stay. So nothing was accomplished. Man, that's people live for those opportunities. Snooks, what happened? Well, man, let's see. Let me see. Let me read some comments. I mean, if you didn't see what happened, well, lucky you. Shit. I'm so sorry, Krupp. Krupp came here, the most innocent fella, just trying to have a conversation. And it's cool. I hold nobody on the panel accountable. Not Tennessee. Nobody. I'm the one that said open panel, anything goes, if anything. But I'll take Krupp's advice with overlays. But if the perpetrators were intending for me to, like, oh no, oh god, I'm gonna freak out, here's my reaction, now it's time to clip it, and now what's up, yo, TCB, my brother, you just missed, I got porn bombed like the good old days, bro, because I had somebody where I clearly they people in general don't want him talking about the stuff that I guess occurred or that they did. So you got to start with that overlay shit. No kidding. Can you send me that link before you snip? You don't want to. Oh, so sweet-hearted Global. You don't want to. Trust me. You don't want to see it. Okay. If you want to see what was seen, go to 4chan, where trolls typically hang out and get their content, or I don't know. I have not delved deeply into the trolling world, but we do cohabitate, don't we? I'm checking the processing progress here. I wonder how long. Oh, eh, we'll begin in 24 hours. Let me do a little refresh real quick, because I'm very anxious to just cut that part out and upload it. So nothing accomplished. That the part that was done, you bushwhackers, you pussies in the background, like, I don't know, if just for the lulz, I guess, congrats, but everybody else, like, whatever, you just making it clear, I guess, if what Tien has said hurts you that much, like, you were either reacting out of some level of fear, or you just want to straight up fuck with me. Like, but this being a panel, I wish you'd come here, Get on panel, stand on your 10 toes and just speak. Like, what's your big fucking issue? If you have one with me, talk to me, make it clear. What's the problem? Be an adult. Be a whole grown adult. Let me put this up. Shit. Fool me once, right? What did the great George Bush say? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on shame. Well, shame. All right. Yeah, the good old days. Let's see. This I'm just nobody. I want to see perhaps a new. Yeah, Ten's in the chat. I know he's cool. He was speaking his piece. I'd imagine this is probably the very first panel he's had an opportunity to jump on. They bushwhacked, and they are bushwhackers. They're strange little voyeurs. I wouldn't be shocked if you know what. Let me confirm a suspicion right quick. Live, bear with me. I wanna see. I have one alt, and that alt has kind of infiltrated a couple of areas. But let me bear with me, folks. I do appreciate your patience. If something specific is occurring right now, I will actually derive some sort of information from it. Progressive Patriot, the investigator. Okay, 1. Let's try 2. They usually are organized through Discord, which is giving Discord a bad rap, for me, unfortunately. But I do want to gift all like the powers to CFALs to run it for me. Okay. So the 2 that I know to check on, couldn't find shit. That was the sickest porn bombing I've ever seen. They put a lot of, yeah, man. I mean, so I guess I should have just watched that the bait a little longer. It was the individual, the woman named Joey. She kept on showing the face. There was even a wave, face go back, and it kept going on and off, on and off. I need to just be, well, for one, the overlay, and then number 2, be way more specific about instructions, like, hey, put up your hand, lower your index finger, do some crazy dumb shit. But hey, I think the best thing to do is to be able to laugh and show like whatever psychological warfare was being attempted there. I hope you sleep well with a job well done. Your life is accomplished. There's nothing more you have to do in terms of seeking accomplishment. Well done. All right, now, well, real quick, for that Raja thing, I got the raw footage, which will get this age restricted, so I'm gonna have to skip, just in case any of you that were in the prior live stream before the dong was flipped out for everybody, and then that wackadoo techno music was behind it. We were talking about this crap right here. Hold on. All right, so I can't show the actual points of contact. It's been blurred in every video that covers it.
In the allegedly unscripted viral moment, Raja Jackson, who is the son of UFC great Quinton Rampage Jackson, climbed into the ring during a match in Sun.
Fuck you, Rampage. Fuck you, Raja. You're both bullies and cowards. Going after somebody unconscious of all things, 23 uncontested and unquestioned, undefended punches. You're so lucky that man is alive. But now, like, the balance of everything, of justice itself being sought after, is on the shoulders of Psycho Stu, a man who doesn't like drama. He's a God-blessed war veteran, and he was done dirty like that in front of his father. His father was in this ring, or he's in the audience watching that beating that nearly took his life. When he was taken out on a stretcher, he was choking on his own blood and the majority of his teeth. think he's got like a handful, like a couple of the fingers on my hand, like that's what's left. When he woke up without any memory of this incident, his go-to instinct was to apologize to his wife that he was in the hospital. Right? There's layers, there's levels to how wrong this entire thing is, was, and is. There is no was. It is wrong. And I hope, again, this is not grandstanding. It's not virtue signaling, not white knighting. I'm not being some DNC cuck ass liberal. I am standing up for the fact that this shit was just plain old wrong and that we deserve to see another example of justice, because far too often in this country, we see examples of the perpetrators and I guess, the evil in the world always getting away with it, especially if they have money behind them. And I'm tired of seeing the working man who, if they get in a pinch, they are gone. They are done. They are made an example of. These are the people you need to make an example of if you want to earn the respect to any degree of the American class again, because we are all workers. We work our ass off 9 to 5 or fucking 5 to damn 11:30, whatever the case. All right, we are working. We're one of the hardest working countries in the world. Europe, 25 hours is their work week, and they have a whole political system that protects them from their bosses calling them on their days off. And if a worker is bothered, they can call a whole like political HR branch and have their bosses in trouble, not the workers, because they believe in a true healthy balance of life and work. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not going too off the cuff here, but I mean, at the very least, like, I know some of us, maybe we need that 40 hours. Like, we don't know any different. I don't know that, the 40-hour work week was invented, I think, by, what was it, Henry Ford. Like, we once were on the cusp of getting the 25-hour work week. This is my only thing when it comes to, Europe. They do pay much, much higher taxes. But imagine being able to have a healthy balance of work and life. You could see your family and not feel like you're sacrificing precious, precious time and provide.
Valley, California, and attacked Psycho Stu. He body slammed the bearded wrestler, then pummeled his face more than 20 times, apparently to the point of unconsciousness. Psycho Stu, whose real name is Stuart Smith, is reportedly doing fine and recovering, but the damage to Raja Jackson's career is done. TMZ reports that cops were called to the scene.
I hate that. But Stu's fine, even though he almost died. But Roger Jackson's career is done, as if we care. Yes, it should be done, and his freedom should be in question.
On August 23rd, and the LAPD has launched a criminal investigation. So what the hell happened? The violent, unplanned
Okay, if the LAPD is doing the investigation, I wonder if that speaks for the state in and of itself, taking the reins on this one. I wonder.
attack went down during a private wrestling event at Knox Pro Academy. It was apparently in retaliation to an altercation between
that little bastard right there with the hat. He apparently has a beef with Psycho Stu, so he orchestrated and gassed up Raja before the events that led up to that massive violence. He was in his head. So Raja, who is no victim, he is a monster. He is an animal. He belongs in the cage. He needs to think about what he did for a good 10 to 20. He was getting gassed up by his dad, calling him a bitch, and his chat, who's IRL streaming and Kick. Remember, people forget that we're all humans when we go online, hence some of the activity that's done. And it's all, I don't know how people that do this kind of shit in general, a lot of the shit, just sleep at night, just all at peace with their actions and what they do. I listened today to a live stream talking about how somebody doxed somebody's job and had them removed from it and justified it. I heard that today. See, now that's a real sign of the audience that you generate, that you gather, the appeal that you seem to have rolling with the fleas. That's an example of how scummy you are if you really have to justify that. I mean, tit for tat. If somebody goes after you and yours, I guess it's, the gloves are off. But this whole off YouTube shit, I'm telling you, all you fools acting up out there doing what it is you do, practically you're living. And I see troll communities really fund themselves. They donate to one another. It's a bizarre little phenomenon. Y'all are going to be the reason why the internet ain't so damn fun. You're going to be the inspiration for new legislation and regulation and shit, man. We may be losing the one thing that keeps everybody so badass and so intimidating. Anonymity. I butcher that word. You guys may just be the forefront and the pioneers that have our ability to remain anonymous on the internet taken away because we don't know how to be adults.
The men earlier that day.
You're like a bunch of children on Roblox.
Outside the venue, Stu had smashed a beer on Raja's head.
What, you don't know me?
Hell no. Yeah.
Hey, I think that's a little.
Oh!
It seemed
Poor Psycho Stu thought that, since there's a camera, this must be a promotion. And this guy couldn't be any happier. He utilized Raja as his workhorse. He made him his bitch. He had him get his hands soaked with blood because this cowboy hat wearing little something I probably can't say without repercussion on YouTube wasn't willing to do it himself. Fucking coward, like so many others. These are the people right here. This guy, I hope more negative attention falls and his feet enter the fires, so to speak.
to be setting up a storyline for the show. The two were later seen making amends on the live stream, but then things took a dark turn. And now social media videos have emerged showing Raja in a blood-stained white shirt and visibly seething with rage following the incident.
Pissed me off though, Andre.
I understand.
Listen, he just nearly ends this man's life, and he's just like, hey, man, he pissed me off. That shows how disconnected you are. You don't deserve to walk among us. Your freedom needs to be taken away entirely. Let me check that I'm actually sharing footage. Okay. Sorry, I'm going on my tangent. Oh, the processing is almost done. The video that was bombed, it's going to still be. So congratulations on accomplishing nothing. And I still got, there's a brand new video from one of my favorite creators that I want to share with all of you.
He's in the ring.
My bad.
My bad. My bad. That's the best he could come up with. The dude is choking on his own blood in the ring right now. Daddy issues. I had to look like a badass in front of my chat. I have no existence outside of the perception of those that I'll never meet online. That's my life. I almost took that man's life. My bad. Hollow. Just like your soul.
I understand y'all had heat. You didn't have to take advantage.
I'll call you back later.
Raja reportedly tried to justify his actions, saying he was tired of motherfuckers playing with me and calling me bitch and that at the
If words hurt that much, get off the fucking internet. Stop streaming, you little bitch.
end of the day, I'm a stand up for my self. The wrestling organization.
Stop with the beeping. Damn it, New York Post. I get it. First and foremost, our thoughts and prayers are with our brother, Mr. Stuart Smith, war veteran, you bitch. Psycho Stu, as he remains as a priority, and we are monitoring his well-being. What was supposed to be a planned and agreed-upon wrestling spot turned into a selfishly responsible act of violence against Mr. Smith. No shit. The egregious act is reprehensible and never should have occurred in the 17 years of operation of Knox Pro Wrestling Academy. There has never been anything as heinous take place such as this, and we apologize to our patrons and fans. Meanwhile, this is the same federation and school that's telling all of their workers to share the video. And we have it confirmed through leaks. The bosses, the powers that be in this federation, are telling everybody to share the video of their friend. They call this man family. They call each other family. Go share that video of our family getting beat damn near till he is gone from this existence. Exposed, confirmed. So this shit, hollow, means nothing. I hope you all crumble.
organization Nox Pro condemned Raj's behavior on Facebook, calling it selfish, irresponsible, and even heinous. Raj's dad, Quentin Rampage Jackson, echoed this sentiment, writing, "I don't condone my son's actions at all." Rampage Jackson, age 47, is a former UFC light heavyweight.
Yeah, no shit. And when you said, I'm sending my Asian kids to college, but I'm getting bail money for Raja, we already knew what we were going to expect. All right, let me check up on y'all. Thanks for hanging out, especially after the events of the first live. By God, what can I say? The internet be interneting. If they don't arrest him by tomorrow, then I don't know, man. Shit, dude. I mean, we are in a pickle here. I really, really want to see what becomes of this. I truly do. Because I don't care about the optics or the race factor or any of it. To me, this is another example of the little guy. That was a goddamned war veteran hero who deserved a hell of a lot more respect than getting humiliated and whooped in front of his family and fans. All right, I can't think of any other thing that would need an example made for justice. All right, now, I'm going to do a first-time watch, and I'm hoping that this YouTuber I'm a big fan of, too lazy to try. Look, there are people that are not fans of Joe Rogan anymore, and even I have been banging my head about this. I don't think Joe Rogan's funny. I think he's had some moments where he was a comedian, but I think he's also been kind of infiltrated. He's become an effective PR piece. He's had very easy interviews with like Kash Patel and the other guy, like the head of or somebody in the CIA. Softball questions. That's not the Rogan that we all grew up on. But now he's so rich, wealthy, and connected. I guess when you get to a level with money, you just seem to forget what you championed in the first place. So let me see what this Joe Rogan realizes he's is a useful idiot video is about. If y'all don't mind, I have to do some fair use reacting because I wouldn't want my favorite YouTuber or one of my favorite YouTubers too, with a very boring voice, to strike me. I get enough of that from Ryan Upchurch. Pussy.
I know they are. Like I feel it, and sometimes it's just like, all right, what are you gonna do? I think some of the information that gets shared on this podcast is probably bullshit.
To kind of
to hide
muddy the
things.
waters. Yeah.
All right.
Kash Patel, who for years said, I am passionate about the Epstein everything, and I know some people are tired of it. And then all of a sudden, now that he's in the position of power, what list? And Joe Rogan let it fly and had no confusion or questions. Clearly, Joe's not in control anymore. So let's see. My first time seeing this, usually I'll go outside, get my ginger ale, have a cigarette, and watch these like on my own. But I wanted to share one of my favorite YouTubers with y'all.
So it looks like Joe Rogan is starting to act like he's realizing that his podcast is being used by grifters and politicians to make money and promote propaganda, specifically alien propaganda. Apparently, Joe thinks some of the information on his podcast regarding aliens is probably bullshit that's pushed by the government. I mean, it's hilarious that this is what's finally getting Joe to admit that the government's using his podcast. So he came to this realization after the podcast he did with
this woman, Anna Paulina Luno, went there. It's complete filler. If you want to see what modern day propaganda looks like with a little sliver of yes, it's unfortunately coming from the MAGA aspect. I'm still, damn it, I support Trump's ideas and the way he wants to work things like a business, some of his long game aspirations, but morally I'm conflicted. But this bitch was clearly there to deflect and try to get the entirety of America's attention on aliens. And so she dropped some ridiculousness. She couldn't even take it seriously. She started talking about how, we found another dimension with beings coming through it. And, as the questions dwelled further, it's so clear they just wanted a pretty face and something that they thought would just keep everybody fascinated enough that maybe they'd stop asking more about, hey, what happened to those minutes that were gone in the Epstein video? By the way, the Epstein video, that wasn't his door that the camera was on. He was way, way out of frame. The last moment on that video is somebody looking like an inmate walking towards that fucking door with bedding, by the way. That's the last thing we see before it's, all those minutes are gone. No reason, nothing to see here. Let's talk about the aliens. And Joe Rogan, I'm glad he's waking up now. He's like a modern day hero to people, but I just have learned too much about how he has made his little niche circle like 250 comedy assassins, and he considers like these are the only people that deserve fame. He's getting a little, little up churchy. I still watch his shit, but you criticize free speech, man. You can't universally love somebody forever. You gotta be human by identifying that you're looking at another human, no matter how successful they are. Otherwise, you're worshiping false idols.
That congresswoman who told him the government has evidence of UFOs and interdimensional beings, but of course she couldn't go into any detail about it or really explain what evidence there is. So it was just a complete waste of time, and she sounded like an idiot. I mean, she wasn't even good at bullshitting us. At least other UFO guests, even if they're full of shit, they can come up with some interesting stuff to say, but she couldn't even do that.
Adam from Blink 182 blew all this shit wide open before this kind of stuff was getting established, and Joe Rogan roasted him. He owes Adam an apology, actually.
I mean, if she wasn't attractive, this would have been one of Joe's most disliked podcasts. Also, because it's really obvious that Trump's administration pushed for Joe to have her on. Like, he almost admitted that the other day when he said he thinks the government sends people on his podcast.
And look, I know there's a demographic. I watch my analytics. I watch, the ages and all this. I know some of you do not like any negativity that is pushed towards Trump, but I mean, please, you have to be able to call it when you see it, regardless of it being from someone that you like, support, vote for, or listen to their music, whatever the case. Call the bullshit, please, God. That's all we have left in life now is our true word and our gut feeling before AI takes that over. Or we get the next vaccine or some sort of chip. Yeah, I'm going that far off. Global News Network, where you at? I really want to have a conversation with you again.
Talk about aliens right after he had this congresswoman on. And during that podcast, you tell Joe was trying his best to go along with what she was saying and act like she's somewhat convincing. But there are moments where he's having trouble taking her seriously because it was just a complete joke. And I think Joe is probably even a little embarrassed about the episode because it was just that bad. And it was pretty obvious that it was being used as a psyop to distract from the Epstein Files cover-up.
But I do have to say that if I was the government and I wanted to spread a bunch of crazy stories about UFOs, I'd tell them to people like Tom.
I guess so, yeah.
And I'd tell them to people like me. I mean, I think people do that on this podcast. I think some of the information that gets shared on this podcast is probably bullshit.
To kind of muddy the waters. Yeah.
One of the witnesses had talked about what had happened at Vandenberg Air Base, where there was this thing that appeared over the base. It actually had multiple blotters reporting on it from phone calls into law enforcement from hundreds of people. And whatever had appeared over the base was basically bigger than a football field and basically a red cube with some weird thing in the center of it.
But I want to bring it back to evidence. You said that you've seen evidence. What kind of evidence have you seen?
I have seen photos. I have seen.
What have you seen photos of?
So I was in a skiff, and I can't discuss all that was in a.
Yeah, let me lead, to the American people, of which I guess to some degree, I don't know if this woman was put in the position of power or elected, but let me just dangle that a giant fucking translucent cube with a little Tootsie Roll center as big as a football field was just chilling over somewhere. And let me just dangle that. And then when I'm asked or pressed a little further and my pretty face isn't enough, let me just deflect and say, it's classified. Well, then, bitch, why'd you even say it? Why'd you even say it? You're making it obvious that you're just using this as a platform to bullshit us. I have no doubt that there is extra phenomenon and all that craziness out there. We know that truth is stranger than fiction. But come on, you are insulting the American people, and I don't know, when are we going to get tired of feeling insulted by the powers that be? Because I see a lot of us too damn eager and complacent attacking one another day in, day out. Like that's our breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Trolling each other, just harassing each other, doxing each other, circle jerking in our groups, having little meetings, and then deleting them, feeling all important and intimidating. Strength in numbers, yes, it's true, but you wasted all the groups out there that just get this massive number together, and then they hold it as a banner of pride, and all you do is what? Try to dox motherfuckers, man. Put some personal shit out, humiliate people. You know, we recently, one of YouTube's most famous locals passed away, and the very people that drove him insane. Thankfully, he died of natural cause. I wish he didn't die at all at 34 years old. He died of, well, nothing natural, of a poor diet. I mean, the trolls sent this man, King Cobra, alcohol when he was an alcoholic. And so they're pretty complicit, I think. And again, that's another example. It's not going to be lost on all of the powers that be that are monitoring every day the news cycle and the algorithms. He's got such an outpouring of sympathy, and for damage control, even these troll communities do their own PR. I was watching one and I couldn't believe my eyes and ears. Guys, they were donating. The people that were watching were donating. It was a memorial. They watched the father break down and cry and talk about him. And then they started donating, and the two hosts were like, guys, don't donate. Don't do that. Because it's going to be a bad look. They were trying their own damage control. All of that potential, all of that attention, all of the work that's being done, we do more work. We put more effort into destroying one another instead of speaking truth to power. Has that become something that's just looked at as a liberal thing? Can't we, as a conservative, have passion in that? Don't we have it in our bones to want to speak up against the government? We don't want to be controlled or insulted anymore. But, hey, the internet is the new Roman Colosseum. We are fighting each other in a stupid, nonsensical war because everybody's so god dang hollow inside that this is somehow fulfillment. It's a fucking shame. Damn you all. Damn you all. We're dropping the ball. And when we lose all of our freedoms, it started here.
But what I can tell you is, based on the photos that I've seen, I'm very confident that there's things out there that have not been created by mankind.
So you can't tell us what you saw, but
I'm gonna let you infer.
See, this is the problem that I have with all this stuff.
There have been incidences that I believe where very credible people have reported that there have been movement outside of time and space.
That's very vague.
Yeah. So look,
unfortunately.
Yeah. Look, have I seen a portal open? No. Have I seen a spaceship? Personally, no. Have I seen evidence of this? Yes. Have I seen photo documentation of aircraft that I believe were not made by mankind? Yes.
Yeah, so Joe's acting like he's catching on, like he's just starting to figure out.
Couldn't have brought one single sliver to make us feel like we're just not being spoon-fed propaganda bullshit. Couldn't have brought something.
That he's a useful idiot, but he obviously knows his podcast is used for propaganda. He just doesn't care unless it's this obvious or embarrassing, like with this lady and also Kash Patel. Then he feels the need to be like, shit, I think they're lying to me. But of course, he knew this congresswoman was going to be full of shit, and there's a reason the government wants him to have her on. Like I said in my last video about this, a week before this podcast, Trump's administration had a meeting on how to handle the Epstein files fiasco, and they discussed how they could use Rogan's podcast. And I'm sure Joe was told not to mention Epstein during this episode because this lady's the head of a task force, which I'm sure is just some bullshit thing, but it's supposed to be pushing for the release of the Epstein files. So you'd think Joe would ask her about this. This would be a big topic, but he never mentioned it once. So I think they probably learned from the Kash Patel episode and how badly that went. I mean, almost everybody knew Kash Patel was full of shit during that episode. So having this lady try to explain how not releasing the files was a 4D chess move from Trump would have just made things 10 times worse. So they must have told her and Joe not to bring up Epstein.
Perchance, while I skip ahead a little bit, have you guys been watching South Park? I would actually be shocked if I would give Trump an attaboy if he doesn't sue them because you should see what the. Remember how they used to have Saddam Hussein look, and he would be, Satan's gay lover. Okay, that's Trump now, and oh my god, and they did a whole AI thing. 3 episodes are brand new episodes are out, and they're hilarious. Some of them poignant, a bit on the head, a little bit very much on the nose, even starting to make fun of themselves, knowing that people are probably getting tired of them making fun of Trump to any degree. But I implore you, please watch them before they do get sued. I'm almost that convinced. Remember, Colbert is gone because of the affiliations, and Trump, well, he did his thing. I hated Colbert. I liked the Colbert Report, but when he became himself, what a dog turd.
See, these are the only pictures. Is this from the 40s? Like, what's this picture from?
What the fuck? Really? This, I didn't even, she came up with this shit. This, you can find yourself. This is supposed to be jaw-dropping. This is all to get people to forget Ghislaine Maxwell and the Epstein files and all that. This is what they're doing. This is such low-hanging, pathetic fruit. They really, really think we're a bunch of toddlers.
What is this?
Oh, people want to believe.
Bro, so bad. Me too. I'm like, maybe the bottom ones.
It was funny. Somebody asked me.
I do that sometimes when I'm questioning people and I know they're not telling me the truth. And I'll say, wait. So what you're saying is, and so I don't even have to like say that's ridiculous. That's fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
I just let the internet have it.
Yeah, you go.
You
really?
know what I mean? Like Epstein didn't kill himself. Like that kind of a deal. Like, okay. Like let the internet deal with this. I'm not going to deal with this. This is like, I can only be so pushy, when people don't want to talk about a specific thing or want to give you an answer that you think is pretty much gaslighting you. You're like, okay, so that's a real UFO.
Well, when they're not a government plant, Joe Rogan, you have absolutely taken some people to task and had them exposed for being idiots. But given the opportunity to an actual political plant or CIA op or whatever, you folded. You folded. And another thing that I hate, which I've been pretty consistent with, I hate Upchurch's Glazers. I hate your Glazers too, Joe Rogan. They guest on your show and they never call you out for your bullshit. Like letting all that fly. At least you're realizing now you are the useful idiot. With so much respect and such a large platform, you could be doing so much better if you didn't lose connection with the real working class. You move to Texas, you have the mothership where it's extremely restricted. It's not just any Joe Schmo can go there. Just Joe Rogan, not any Joe Schmo. And when you add that level of restriction and control to anything, the appeal begins to wear off.
All right. You might, I have people coming here all the time that I know are bullshitting me.
Good.
Some of the tech that exists, that whatever these things have, these energy things have,
energy things? What do you mean?
Well, they call them interdimensional beings.
This bitch is talking about interdimensional beings. She watched Stranger Things before she walked in this room. I can't imagine. That's the briefing she got from her higher ups. Let's just watch season 4, part 1 of Stranger Things and just run with that. Run with that.
I think that they can actually operate through the time spaces that we currently have.
Yeah, so who could have guessed that this lady wasn't going to be credible? Definitely not Joe. Poor guy fell for it again. And even some of Rogan's comedy friends like Dan Soder make fun of him for doing podcasts like this, and then afterwards being like, I think the government was just trying to use my platform, like with this one and also the Cash Patel one.
Rogan's like, oh man, really? I think they tricked me.
It's almost like I think they used me in my platform, and the AI director lied to my face.
And it seems like these Rogan episodes of politicians just keep getting worse and more obvious, so I can't wait to see what they come up with next. I mean, the episodes are entertaining, and even if Joe doesn't push back, enough people, I think, call out the bullshit now. Like, people are aware of what's going on. And I think Joe might be losing patience with Trump's administration. If they don't show him some proof of aliens soon, they might lose him. If they really want him to go all out, helping cover up the Epstein files, they just got to show him proof of aliens. That's all it takes. That's all he's ever asked for.
I'll tell the government right now, tell you right now, if you're listening, NSA, CIA, I'm available. Okay. If you show me all the real wreckage, I swear to God, I will make fun of that crap to the end of time. I'll make up stories. I'll lie to my mother. I don't care. You show me a UFO, I'll lie to my mother.
Let's say an intelligence community to manipulate them than it is to.
That guy is also compromised and had one too many dinners hosted by the FBI. He used to be a respected comedian. Hey, Third Eye, you missed the giant schlong that was thrown around. But, you know, I gotta stop talking about it. It's just so sad, so pathetic. If their goal was really to silence a thing, you've just emboldened me further to actually lend my platform to any of the detractors, to any of the individuals that have felt targeted or messed with, harassed, victimized to any degree. I might just dedicate at this end, the Stuck in the Middle podcast, which is infamous now, and we get views strictly off of how nefarious, notorious, or infamous we are. At the very least, hey, I know this is freaking, small numbers, but hell, the first return, 1,000, the second, 3,000, the third, 1.5, 2,000. Last night had to split into two. So, shit, man. We, by all means, try the bullshit. I'll just get wiser to it. And I will offer anybody that wants their platform and their voice heard their opportunity. Because as far as I'm concerned, aside from it being hilarious, look, we threw some dick up there to just stop the live. Like that just, if anything, it tells me something bothered somebody enough that they wanted it stopped. So now I'm just more invested. You want to reach me in the back streets on IG or something? You want to make an ally out of me? It ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen. I'm always going to stand for the truth and justice, especially for the underdog. All right, so, that whole strategy, well done. You got your W. It's the last one. That's it. I think South Park seems very out of touch now. I mean, it ain't what it used to be, I'll tell you that. I ain't cracking up like I used to. It's amazing they've lasted as long as they have. But at the very least, they seem to be somewhat balanced, which is something I really appreciate when they go after anything, and the whatever the popular social issues are. I think they handle it in a way that's at least humorous. So, okay, I didn't intend to do 2 lives, but I wasn't going to let that first thing shock me, intimidate me, scare me, or anything. And I think I'm pretty wise as to where that may have originated. I can't pull any crazy internet strings. I got one really good friend that I've had for many, many years who is I'm not going to flex that. You know what? We keep some of our resources in silence, right? That was the point I was making. Let me do just that. So, all right, I've said my piece. I'm going to have another open panel. I'm just going to have a professional overlay, and I'm going to learn how to test my subjects a little better. But I want to thank each and every one of you that have appeared and put up with me, hear me out, and my ramblings. And I wish you all the best. I truly do. Don't forget, your voice is probably the most damn important thing you have. Never let it be wasted or silenced. So God bless and good night.